13 seconds till wreck. Keep going. Keep going. And it's not stopping. It will not stop. It just wants more flesh. Holla ballers, what's going on? It's Preacher, and it's time to look at the Fury Warrior, man. We finally got the update, and it wasn't even particularly bad before, but they had more changes in the works for this bad boy, and my God. I actually tweeted the dev, who I was told was in charge of this, because this whole spec feels like the biggest fuck you to BfA class design that I have seen so far, and it seems to be a product of what's going on. Is Blizzard is running out of time to get everything done for BfA. They're just running out of time. Like, the game is coming, and now they're starting their class design revamps. It's like, it's mad. If I check MMO Champ today, they're now looking at Ret Paladins and looking at that stuff. We look a couple of days ago, it's MM Hunters, which just showed off. They've just done Arms. They've just done Frost EK. We will take a look at that. But they are now looking and giving actual feedback a couple of months before the game comes out. It's absolutely insane how, I have to say, badly timed a lot of this stuff is, because this is the stuff that you should be launching with the BfA, right? This is what we're doing with the classes. Let's work on the content. It's still full of bugs. The BfA is still massively full of bugs, but that doesn't matter. That's not why we're here today. We're here to look at the Fury Warrior, and I don't mind this queue waiting for us. Why is this a big FU to BfA? Because this thing is so fast. So fast. It defies all logic. Like, on stream the other day, we played Fury Warrior. We were like, good God, this thing is immense. And then we switched over to the new Frosty K. It was like night and day. It was like playing a different game. It just didn't make sense. So where is all this speed coming from? From your Enrage, Frothing Berserker. It's all about haste and move things. You see, so Enrage increases your haste by 25%. Frothing Berserker is going to increase your haste by 10%. All these things add up to give you massive amounts of haste. Now, this is a tart build I'm going to run with for this dungeon, but I'm going to show you a little bit more after, because obviously this spec needs a little bit of exploration. It's not perfect by any means. It's really not perfect. It needs a couple of tweaks, and it's also, you'll notice I've positioned myself like over the damage meter. That's because there's a few things that are a little buggy right now. Like, Enrage isn't up anywhere near as much as it should be, which means your DPS, like the actual physical numbers, are a little lower than what they should be. And I know so many people, even after reiterating it time and time and time and time again, that numbers aren't finished, will still look at the damage meter and go, that class is overpowered, I want to play that. And I want to avoid that as much as possible, because it's nothing to do with the numbers we're going to put out here. Our damage will be lower than what it's supposed to be because of the bugs I've mentioned, but it's the gameplay we're after. How does it play? How does it feel to play? That kind of thing. So let's talk a little bit about the talents before we get in here. Let's take this opportunity. I want to talk about the redesign of Meat Cleaver. So Meat Cleaver's got a new design. So when we whirlwind, it has a 10% chance to enrage us, right? I believe that's not working at all right now. But it also gives Meat Cleaver charges. And Meat Cleaver now works on any single target spell. Drink that in. It's not just Bloodthirst and Rampage like it used to be. Have we walked into a bugged dungeon? I am with a friend here. This is perhaps bugged. We'll see. We'll see. It works on any single target spell. So our new talent, Siegebreaker, which increases our damage done by 15%, right? We can apply that to all the 4 targets via the new Meat Cleaver. So we can charge in, we can whirlwind, we can Siegebreaker so they take more damage, we can Recklessness, we can then Rampage, whirlwind again, 2 more charges, Bloodthirst, Raging Blow, whirlwind again, 2 more charges, be polymorphed. But you get the idea, right? You get these 2 charges to play with, and that is absolutely required, because it also works on Execute. Yes, it also works on Execute as well. Anything you mix in, hi. Any single target ability you've got, you will be able to cleave onto multiple targets, which is so much better, so much more fun. It really is awesome. And notice how quickly my rage bar is filling. Absolutely insane amounts of rage. But what I want you to look at is just my bar. Look at my bar, and look how often my rage bar is just filling up, and the speed at which these abilities are going down. So right now I'm using Whirlwind as my filler, right? You don't have to. You can talent into Furious Slash, which we'll talk about later. Let's get rid of this one. Let's get to the boss.
You die with me.
We haven't got wreck for a little while. Interrupt this. Now, one thing you'll notice, is it difficult to play? No. No, not at all. It's not even remotely difficult to play, but that's fine. With a spec that goes at hyperspeed all the time. So what a dramatic difference, first of all, from what we have in Legion, which is burst window, right? So now we've got wreck, and we've got enough rage for rampage. So siege breaker on. Recklessness on. Get in there. Executing. Another rampage inside the recklessness window. Inside siege breaker. And look, you can just see you're just blurting out like you really are creaming yourself. You can't have a very complex spec if you're going to have it go at hyperspeed. You can't do that. So they've recognized that. And this is how Wrath of the Lich King used to be. Are we doing Razan?
There will be no coming back.
And they've recognized that. The dev's gone, you know what? I want this spec to be unstoppably fast. And it goes unstoppably fast. When it gets going, it's just crazy. Even in shitty gear, it goes unstoppably fast. So we've got a while before wreck. So let's get our siege breaker on for our rampage. Get that going. Whirlwinding. We're now going to be passively cleaving heavily, which is great. Terrifying Visage. Let's use our Berserker Rage. And again, still passively cleaving, knowing that Whirlwind's giving me 2 charges here. Cheesing off some executes. Why not? Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're a warrior. We've got wreck coming. 13 seconds till wreck. Keep going. Keep going. And it's not stopping. It will not stop. It just wants more flesh. Is what it wants. It wants more flesh. And I love it. I absolutely love it. We're going to have to hide from this one. But we're going to come back in, and we're going to come back in. Oh, I was behind the wall. I'm sure of it. I'm going to miss the execute. No! Siege breaker. Recklessness. Go! Get out of here. Get out of here. My God. Have fucking mercy on your soul. And you can imagine that it's not even going to take much haste. This actually reminds me a little bit of the Wrath of the Lich King Ellie Shaman that was like, it was so naturally fast that you never even bothered getting haste because it just fucked you up like during Bloodlust and stuff. You were just screwed. There was no point, right? There was absolutely no point in getting lots of haste because it's naturally really fast, which means you work on other stats. Now, this looks to be a spec that's going to go that way. It's going to start like a fucking choo-choo train and just churn its way through everything. And it's then just going to be like more damage. And it's going to be consistent. It's going to be all the time. It's just going to be like more. I hope they keep it this way. There's a couple of changes I'd like to see. We'll mention after. We're going to do the last boss now, which is all good. We're going to do the last boss now, and then we'll talk about it. But I think you can... I know we haven't played for long, but I think you get the idea. This thing is just rapid from start to finish. Nice and simple. You've only got really 3-4 buttons to play with if you include execute. That's about it. There is a way of triggering this boss just to move. This does work. One sec. This does work. It just takes a sec, I think. I have had this, last time we were here, the boss did activate. Are you going? I've had somebody activate this boss, even though we've been stuck here. Did you have to walk over this side? I'm not sure what the person did. Last time I was in here, it was stuck like, there he goes. Right, it's gone. There we go. Awesome. Oh, I missed the pull. Oh, my charge booked. Oh, no. This is not what I want to see. Siege breaker. Wreck. Go, 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 go. Ah. Get me back in there. That mobility now just adds to it. And that's what you want. You don't just want mobility for mobility's sake. Does it add to the feel of the class? Yeah. Yeah, it does. It absolutely does. Absolutely plays into the idea of what this is all about. I'm going to hold off a siege breaker just a second. Till now, execute phase. So we're going to execute, rampage, Go. Execute. Raging blow. Get the fuck out of here, man. Get the fuck. And then you really feel it. I actually don't mind. I thought I would mind it a lot more. Is execute having a cooldown now. It has a 4. It's affected by haste. Everything's affected by haste, right? So it's just going to go faster and faster and faster and faster and faster, which is going to be just incredible, right? Let's drop out of here to the dummy. I just want to show you some of the things. So, like I say, it's not perfect. There's a couple of things I'd like to see. Let's say thank you very much to our man here. Thank you very much, mate. One thing I'd like to see, so as you can see there, that was kind of like a dungeon build, right? And you can mess around with that. You can take Massacre, so you can execute a much higher, and obviously you can mix that with Meat Cleaver. Here's that talent there. So you could be executing 4 targets once. You could do more Rampages, 10% increased damage. I like the haste coming from Frothing Berserker. Again, in beta, we're playing around with everything. We have tried all these things. Don't worry about it. It's not like I'm guessing. One thing I would like to see swapped is this is like a fully AoE-centric tier. Dragon Roar doesn't seem to fit with this. Like, I don't need to show you guys Bladestorm. I also do not like Siegebreaker. It's kind of like a poor man's Bloodbath / Colossus Smash. I don't think it's very fun. I like everything. The reason for that is Fury, for me, now feels like a spec that shouldn't require much setup other than can you go into a Wreck Rampage straight away so you can get multiple Rampages out inside of Recklessness, right? Rampage is also affected by haste as well, so the animation's like super fast. So I would like to see... Furious Slash is obviously a single target replacement for Whirlwind, right? So, but you can have, with the current talent setup, you can have Meat Cleaver and Furious Slash. I can tell you now, when this spec is going at hyperspeed, there's no way to fit this in properly. Like, you can do it, but you're going to have to, like, not... You can see I always had something to do there, pretty much, right? So you can't fit in, like, a Furious Slash without sacrificing maybe a 4-way Raging Blow. And as you can see, Furious Slash doesn't do a great amount of damage. Its purpose is to get this haste buff up, and it's 6% haste, right? So it feels like it's just lost in the mind. I would like to see Meat Cleaver and Furious Slash on the same tier, because taking both feels like a mistake. But if we would take this would be like a sort of single target build, I guess, when the numbers are finally done, something along these lines. You might take Sudden Death or In a Rage. Oh no, you wouldn't for Furious Slash. Whatever, right? Whatever the single target build comes in, these two just don't make sense together. Having both of these things, there's just no way to fit them in. But what you can do is when you do this, is if you get Furious Slash going, and you can see I've already like got extra stuff to press before I can get this damn buff up. But look at my global cooldown. It's like I'm fucking bloodlusted. Right? It's insane. It's utterly insane how fast it goes. This is just single target in terrible leveling gear, right? And you can already see now, I do have to play with 151 MS, so don't excuse some minor key press faults here, because obviously it's on the US servers. But you can see when the haste is all stacked up, you can see this global is just spinning so quickly, and it wants you to keep going. It wants you to keep going. Even the shoddy ass gear, it wants you to just go. That's what it feels like. It's like, just go. Just friggin' go. Make the best use out of everything we've given you, right? And considering this is the terrible gear, whoo, baby, where is this going to take us? I don't know. But you can also see keeping the buff up. It's like there's other things to be doing. You want to be whirlwinding a lot in dungeons, right? To, I mean, you can say, yeah, maybe it's okay to have a mix of single target damage and AoE damage, but over Sudden Death, over In a Rage, Raging Blows cooldown is reduced by 1 second. Its damage is increased by 15%. You're going to be hitting targets 4 times with that. Still contributes to single target. Having extra executes during the single target boss encounters, all those kind of things. That's like pretty much my only criticism. I also would say Dragon Roar doesn't seem to fit in here. It's just like a doofy, dumb spell that doesn't seem to fit in there. But other than that, what a tremendous class. Really fun. Really fun. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you again. Bye-bye.